Yeah, it's sometimes easier for us to settle. I think especially right now where there's not a lot of security anywhere, it feels like. And even if you're in like a queer relationship, then it feels like that security is even lower. Not that you don't have each other, but like it might not be recognized that you do.
Hello and welcome to the Queer Vision podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Becca. You'll notice that today is a little bit different. It is a little bit longer because we spliced two episodes together because life happened. Um, but honestly, it's just me and Koee sitting down today and chatting. We talked a little bit about what Queer Atlanta is, a little bit about how we got started, a lot about us as individuals, and then us as a team. Um, we delved into a lot of different topics, partially because this was filmed 2 different months apart, and partially just because that's how our brains work. So you'll have a lot of fun with this one. It was honestly one of the best ones that I think we've had because we just got to be ourselves for a little bit and show you guys who we are. So stick around and watch this amazingly intricate and interesting episode. You'll see a little transition in the middle. That's where the second episode started. I tried to splice it as good as I could, so good luck. And if you stick around to the end, which you should, we have some funny bloopers because we are us. Anyway, back to it. Enjoy the Queer Vision.
You're not going to give the people some ASMR? Oh, you kind of did. Oh my God, the Minions Cup, everyone. Give some applause for the Minions Cup.
You know what? Actually give some applause for the mug that my future mother-in-law made. Look how handcrafted. I swear to God.
I know you loved that.
Look at this. Look how pretty it is.
Wait, she made it?
She made it.
Deadass?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
I
made.
live.
That's why I said she has we have a matching one that's red instead of blue. She made a few of the mugs that I have. Okay. So, we're here with the Queer Vision podcast, a little different than usual. This is our first one with microphones that don't clip to your body.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that it sounds amazing.
High quality professional podcast microphones. Were they the top pick? No, because we're still poor, but we're a little less poor than we were when we started. So we got the third best option.
And better is still better.
Period. I'm just bougie. I can't help it.
Like, it's also really weird anytime we look each other in the eyeballs.
It really is because we don't do that enough.
We never do that. Even when we're talking in general, don't touch me. My hands are so sweaty.
Mine are too. Do you believe in life after love? That's Rebecca's vocal stem, if anybody needed to know. And when we have a merch that says, "Do you believe in life after love?" you'll know why.
And I will send one straight to share.
Very that.
It may be
Also,
Chaz Bono.
I'm wearing pants.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's Cher's son. I'll send him some too.
Yeah. Because he's trans. Is that why you're targeting the LGBTQ folk?
And also because who wouldn't want to be wearing their mother's iconic words?
I would not want to be wearing my mother's iconic words. She'd probably be like, "Get off my lawn. If you come around here one more time, I'm going to post on Facebook this whole story."
Have I ever told you the story about my mother being iconic? So, like, okay, I never thought that I was taught to be such a strong, independent woman until I had this conversation with my mom. So my mom is an engineer, and she went into engineering in the 70s. Okay, it's hard now. It was harder then, right? So she gets out to the job, okay, and she does traffic engineering. So there's construction, yeah. So she goes to the job site, and this was back in the time when they were like, you need to wear leather-soled work boots. So she's a woman, right? It's hard for women to find shoes in their size that are appropriate. So she finds the work boots, the steel toe work boots that are OSHA accredited, all that shit. She wears the boots. They say, no, those are rubber soled, not leather soled. Okay. Her boss or whoever this was at the construction site was like, those aren't the right shoes, just to kick her off. They just wanted her not to be there. Let's be 100% honest. Let's admit what it was. It was sexism and it was dumb. So she says, you know what? That's fair. I'll go get my rubber soled shoes or my leather soled shoes. And she goes, she gets her Louis Vuittons out of her car. She puts those bitches on and she walks on that fucking construction site. She says, you have any more issues?
Tea.
And that's who raised me.
Period.
She's also autistic.
So is my mother if it comes to any shock. Oh my gosh. I wish I had an iconic story about my mother like that.
She just hasn't shared them. That's the thing. I actually got this thing for all of the important adults in my life. And when I mean adults, I mean like the adults that raised me, right? 2 of my found uncles, my parents both. And I found this thing. It was just like questions about your life. And it starts like young, like who are your parents? Like, what were your favorite things growing up? Like that shit. And then it asks for like iconic stories essentially throughout the times. Like explain some things that happened in your college experience, that shit, right? None of them filled it out. But I really wanted those stories.
What a shame.
It's so ridiculous. And this is why I love doing this, because I'm sure somebody's going to come out in here and be like, oh my God, that was my grandma.
I live.
And we're going to
So
be
you
like,
want to have children?
No. One of the people we interview
Oh, okay.
is going to be the grandma.
Because I was like, I didn't know you wanted to have
Hell
children.
fucking no, I don't want
'Cause I
children.
don't think anybody's going to come on there and be like, that was my grandma to me. So they might. I don't know.
I mean, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, 70 years ago, you interviewed my grandma. And I'll be like,
period.
I'm 102 years old at this point. Thanks. When was that?
You'll say, oh, I don't know. I had a joke, but it wasn't
What's
developed.
the queer vision? I've never heard that. With my dementia.
Queer?
Yeah, I'm queer. What's wrong with it?
Period.
Explain me.
It's actually kind of baffling to think about what our generation is going to be like old.
I don't know why I gave my old self a southern accent.
Because you'll be here long enough. You're never leaving. Okay, Miss Bitch that wants to move to Utah.
Okay, no. I don't want to move to Utah. Utah is
no offense, Utahians.
Is the military base that if we have to get stationed somewhere else, which we will, I would like to move to, because it's one step closer to Brandon Sanderson, and also it's the one of the 5 that Justin wants that I won't die at.
Period. I feel like, do they even know anything about our personal life?
Probably not. Hi, I'm Becca. My body wants to kill me when I go in elevation or really cold or really hot areas. So there you go. There's a summary of my life. Dating a man named Justin. He's in the Air Force. That's all you need.
Hi, my name's Koee. I have severe trauma, ADHD.
Oh, I have ADHD too.
The list goes on. And and I have a partner who you've seen co-host all of our shows. If you've seen a show. And if not,
you need to change that.
And not this show.
I mean, we've kind of talked a little bit about like ourselves.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Like I feel like in every episode we drop little nuggets about ourselves. You drop more than I do, I think.
Anyway.
So that was our intro. You know what? Honestly, I like intros like that on podcasts. Like I love doing that for My Favorite Murder. I love that they like yip yap.
Yeah.
And then they go into talking.
Real.
I feel like we could do that more often.
We could.
We could just be like, hey, what was your highlight of your day?
Yeah, true. Like weekly highlight. Ooh.
Well,
let's do it now.
Mean, that would work, except for if we have like 5 in a row. But like, yeah, we could still do a highlight. What was your weekly highlight? Honestly, the photo shoot yesterday.
No, same. Actually.
That was a good one because I was like sick last week. And like I got a lot done. I'm like ahead on the magazine now. Thank you, Ellen, for helping me with all that. And we changed the way that we're doing some things. But like that like felt satisfying. But like yesterday, we did a really long photo shoot with Sienna, who is our photographer and also does her own thing. This was her thing. She like set this up. It was great. She planned a lot of stuff with like, I don't even know how many people. 20, 30? I don't know. But
not 20 or 30. I do know.
I don't know how many people there were.
Over 75 people.
There were.
And when we left at 7 p.m., she had, I think, like 2,500 photos already for the day.
She had so many. And she took like some iconic ones that were like of like performers and stuff at places like the Wicked Witch and Chapel Bones and
The Dylan.
I forgot
Around
about
the
the
Dylan,
Dylan.
right?
Yeah, I think they did it inside and outside, and then we did at the Capitol building, which you'll by this point, I feel like this will be you'll have seen pictures that probably going to be in the magazine multiple times, and also covers of the magazine for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby LaCour dressed in an amazing red dress with a pride flag train, 24 feet, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all satin, beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and wore that at the Capitol, and we got like pictures of it flowing down the steps, so that was really cool.
The same train that me and Nebula were later swaddled in on the side of a street.
Yeah.
In broad daylight, which is
Yeah.
kind of everything. And I'm so excited for those photos to come out. Like
Yeah.
that was such a good time too, because we've never like done like photo shoots together or anything.
No.
So it was so like have you ever done photo shoots with a partner?
Not with a partner, but I've had photo shoots of myself.
Yeah, I've had
So
photo
like,
shoots with myself.
yeah, but I've never, yeah, I mean, it's just been like, honestly, usually what happened would I'd be dating somebody that did photography
Valid.
and then just ended up, I was the subject for a while.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really good time, and we got to see like a bunch of different people, like everyday people, and it was also performers. It was really
Yeah.
great. It was like, just felt very queer and very safe and very comfortable, and like everybody got to know each other. And apparently the three people from the first part didn't know each other beforehand, and now they're best friends.
Oh, period.
Mhm.
I live.
Yeah. I feel like this is where we need to talk about what Queer Line actually is.
Oh, tea.
So we've been told that by a few people that though it makes sense to us because we created it and we understand ourselves sometimes, it doesn't quite make sense to everybody else. So we kind of just wanted to talk about like what queer Lina is versus what nasty queer is and what queer vision is. Would you like to explain it? Do you want me to explain? I feel like I've been talking so much.
No, okay. So essentially, our goal with Queer Lina was honestly to act as just an umbrella. Well, I feel like when we started, it was more like we wanted to be like a megaphone, right? Like, because we were really so focused on like amplifying queer voices, getting queer voices out there. After that, and over time, we have developed it into more of an umbrella so that we are encompassing different aspects of the queer community and different facets.
Yeah.
So with that said, we have nasty queer, which a lot of people have been like, what's nasty queer? I'm confused. You're partnering with them. I think it's you. Is it you? I don't know. Essentially, nasty queer is us, but it's just the 18 plus side of us. And not even just the 18 plus, the more punk side, the more kink side, the more like nitty gritty alternative side, versus Queer Lina is more light and airy and
bubblegum pop
and meant to be more like for families, especially when it comes to like the Queer Vision, which is our magazine, which is another facet underneath Queer Lina. And I feel like the Queer Vision is easier to understand because it's like, this is a publication, this is a podcast. That makes sense. But the nasty queer part is lost. Now, there's a nasty queer publication at some point. There will be one. Work in progress, babe.
Work in progress. Yeah.
We're only 2 people.
Well, and also
our whole team, but like
we're the heads of it because we have right now, like the way that this works still is nobody's really making money yet. Like this is what happens whenever you run a business, especially in the beginning. We do not have enough going out to come in with a bunch of money. Like we're prioritizing, okay, if we have performers at this event, we need to pay those performers.
Yeah.
Right now we have an amazing team of volunteers, including us, that make this happen. So essentially, like if you look at our logo, we made it into an umbrella, right? And like so under that would be like anybody that comes under our team. So the reason we even started doing that, I feel like, was because we both have very different aesthetics. And I think it was whenever we were was it when we were editing the third magazine that this started?
Yes. So if you go back to the third magazine and look, there were too many cooks in the kitchen. It was
just 4 of us.
Oh, there was 4 of us.
There was 4 of us.
It was me, you, Ellen, and Megan. And we just all had different aesthetics and we all had different opinions and nobody was really in charge and it was a mess.
Well, and it was really hard because like Ellen and Megan knew that like we were in charge to a point. Like obviously it's us. So like if we don't like it, it's not going out, right? But at the same time, Koee.
I kind of split off with Megan, and she kind of split off with Ellen, and we kind of were low key fighting each other.
But like,
But
we were
weren't
like really
fighting each other.
What happened was I said, "Hey, trust me," because okay, you had never at this point. I think you had never seen me do anything creative, really.
Yeah.
So I feel like you didn't really trust that I had the ability to be creative because I'm so logical.
Yeah, and it's not just that too. Like, I am a little bit of a control freak, and we know we've been working on that, and we've gotten better over time.
We're both control freaks, if we're being honest.
And it was kind of like, I was like, oh, this bitch doesn't think my idea's the best. I'll show her. So that's why we just went and we like ended up making like a second version, and we were like, okay, we'll make all these edits, and then
no, it wasn't a second version. It wasn't a second version. It was so we had an artist. Pause. Back up. We had an artist. The artist was working with us on every single publication, but it was just way too much. They were in school. They were doing a bunch of stuff. Right. I think we talked about this a little bit, but for anybody who hasn't heard, they ended up like a week before we had our publication come out.
And that was Lars.
That was Lars. Yes. So Lars was working with us. They're amazing. Their art is amazing. If you look at 1 and 2, phenomenal. But because they're so phenomenal, they were taking it like very deep and very like heavy to their heart, I think, and very much overthinking it a little bit, and like we all do, and it was just too much for them also just with school. So like a week before, they were like, I can't do this. And so of course I reach out to Ellen. Now Ellen's my bestie, and she always gets things done when I ask. I'm like, I need help right now, and she's like, well, we'll fix it. So I said, okay. Koee was working on, I think at that point you were working on like the podcast stuff, or maybe you were working on something else. And I was like, you need to have this as a priority. So I will just go ahead and do this. And then I was like, also like, I just know that I can get it done with Ellen's help. I was like, just bear with me here. And so I did, like, I think we got through half of it. And I was like, okay, I think we're going to be okay. And I was like, and Ellen was adding like millennial flair, let's be honest, like the pictures and cutesy things. And then I was like, okay, I couldn't have done that because I don't have that kind of brain. So like, we're fine, like between the two of us. And then Koee fucking looks at it without me saying, hey, it's done. So we're not done with it yet. And Koee says, I hate it. I wouldn't put my name on this. I don't want it to go out. I would rather just not have a publication than to put this one out.
Well, yes.
and I'm like, okay. And so at one point you said, I want to redo it all. And you said, how about I just do my own version and then we can just see what happens. And I said, okay. And you got like, I think you got the House of Hues writing and pictures formatted, and you were like, this is actually taking way longer than I expected.
No, yeah, it was a lot, and I didn't realize how much it was. I think like that was a necessary moment for us though, because one, it helped us kind of form what direction we wanted to go, and I think it did help the publication for the better. I think not saying that the way I went about it was healthy, but I think had I not stepped in a little bit and been like, I don't like this or that, there could have been a healthier way to do it, is what 100%. I would say. But if I wouldn't have done it, I also think it would have hurt the integrity and the quality of what the magazine wouldn't be what it is now.
Yeah, no. I think so. I think this was like what forced us to be like, okay, well, we didn't like this and we didn't like this.
So where do we like meet?
Exactly.
And find an aesthetic that works.
And so doing that was when we were like, okay, look, I know that like we have a lot of punk aesthetic with a lot of stuff, and that's fine, but I don't think it works for a lot of the stuff that's in the magazine. And that's where we were like, okay, so that leans more clean, polished. There are still some like, I don't want to say emojis, not pictures type stuff, like formatting things that can be more creative in it, but it's not punk. It doesn't fit punk for most of it. There are some poems that come in that are a little more punky. Fine. But it just doesn't fit the vibe if we keep it as a punk magazine. And so then Koee felt like your half wasn't represented, I feel like. And that's where we were like, well, how do we make this? And then you wanted to do more punk events and stuff like that and just like split it into its own column, because it would be really confusing if Queer Alina came out and was like, hey, here's this really quick polished magazine, and then also go to all of our events that are just nitty gritty alt punk. And so that's where we kind of like split, and we're like, oh, this way both of our personalities and both of our
aesthetics,
demographics,
well, yeah, kind of,
are represented.
So I think, it kind of just came down to us being like, okay, what do we really want and what do we want to see I don't know. We wanted to make sure we were both represented and heard.
Yeah, but we also realized we couldn't do that if we like tried to mush it together into one thing.
Like it just didn't
It wouldn't have
fit.
looked good. It wouldn't have sounded good.
And above all else, I'm an Aries and she's a Virgo. So we're both hard-headed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so yeah, it took us a second to get there, but thankfully we're emotionally intelligent enough.
Yeah.
To
and
communicate
it literally,
and get
it
through
was like we would fight in the morning, and then by the afternoon we'd be like, you're right, I was out of line.
No, that's really how it was for like a month or two. I swear.
It was like every other day. Like Megan and Ellen were like, are you good, bruh? Oh God. Yeah, no. So we definitely, and we still do that. Like we'll still like, I don't want to say argue. We don't argue, but like we disagree on stuff. We're like, that doesn't feel right. Or like, no, I don't like that.
But it happens so much faster than like it used to.
Yeah.
That it's like, doesn't feel like it. Like before it felt like a thing.
It did.
It doesn't feel like a thing anymore.
Like there were times where like, I was like, is this even going to work? Because it was like, are we just going to end up hating each other? But then it was like, no, like literally we'd talk and be like, and you would just be like, I just wanted to call you and see like how you're feeling. Because we have.
I hate your impression of me. Is that how I sound all the time?
It is whenever you like want to like when you want to like inch in and be like, I'm being really quiet right now to not upset you more.
It's and that, then, like, and it's also because being, I don't know, being like, I am really like a sweet, loving person.
Yeah.
But like for some reason, expressing it to people that I actually care about is like,
oh my God, you care about me?
Shut up. See, exactly. It's like awful to me. I don't know why. I think it's like my cool girl aesthetic that I like to keep, like my bitch aesthetic. So it's like, no, you're breaking the bitch front, even though it's like already broken.
Yeah, no.
Like anybody who speaks to me knows that I'm like sweet. I'm always sitting over in the corner like, oh my God, look at this person.
I love life.
I love everyone. I love you all. And then I'm like, meanwhile in my head, like, I hated that fucking number I did. Why am I such a fucking idiot? Anyway.
We really have the same internal monologue.
That's my imposter syndrome, though.
Yeah, we do have imposter syndrome. But that's also part of it, too, is we wanted to be able to fully represent ourselves because I feel like we don't feel seen by a lot of the things that are around us. Like a lot of the people around us, our significant others, not always included, but sometimes are. Like, it's hard to feel seen whenever you feel like you are a different person inside than people perceive from the outside. And so I think that's also, and I feel like you struggle with it a little bit more than I do, only because I've been there. I've literally experienced life longer than you. Like, I feel like that's something you have to get through whenever you've done, like, I don't know, when you've done like engineering as a woman, you have to experience, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I have to be here. I have to fake it till I make it. And then you end up making it. So you realize that's what I have to act like. And so like, that's where I've been with this. And it's like, I think that's where like, whenever you get into those modes where it's like, you need to control the thing. I've realized, okay, let you run with it, but then also give you limits where it's like, okay, yeah, like if this works, it will make it so much easier for both of us. Like, but also if it doesn't, we have this timeline of like, if it doesn't work by this time, then we come up with a different plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of me come back and be like, that's making me anxious because I don't know if it's going to get done. And then like that stresses you out more and then it makes it even harder. And then, control issues. But then also we have always, I think since like January, so like a month into having this thing, we have always wanted to have other people working with us. So we've always wanted to be like, let's bring more people into the fold, and like be able to help other people have this. If we're going to be working for this platform, what's the point in just doing it for us?
Yeah, and I think part of that also like became more increased like when we had this when we were at the shop for a moment.
Oh yeah.
So we've talked about the shop before. I don't want to re-get into all that. Y'all can go watch any of our other talking, like our first talking episode if you want to know more about the shop. In the second one, I think we kind of talked about it some too. I don't know. Essentially, to sum it up, we worked at a shop. It didn't work out. It wasn't cute. There was some drama.
There was drama, but also the drama wasn't our drama. It was more so we just didn't have fucking time.
Like, we didn't have time.
We are also yes people. So we also thought like, oh my God, we'll be able to like, we're here and then this will be our physical space to be able to make more money because we have to have a physical space to make money. And then we realized, oh shit, we actually have to work our jobs to make
like,
money.
She already hates us anyway, so it doesn't matter. And she probably isn't listening.
She's
but I was like, okay, period. I was like, like in the most non-offensive way, the shop was already failing. And in some ways we were like, oh, this will help us both save. So it was kind of like we were trying to save someone before we even, like we didn't acknowledge we were literally fucking doggy paddling and we were like, yeah, bitch, get on my back. And we can swim faster. And it's like, no, girl, now the weight's doubled. So I think like in some ways we were like, oh yes, we can bring up people together. But it was just not a good decision for us. It
Yeah.
ended not well. I mean, it could have ended way worse, but it just,
We realized that we took too much on. We
Yeah.
realized that this is not something we can do. Like, we need to work on ourselves to be able to get this bigger so we can eventually save some spaces or create spaces. We are not creating spaces. We are utilizing spaces right now. We are utilizing spaces and transforming them into something that works for everybody or more people, not
and
even
I
everybody.
like that too, that differentiation, because I feel like in my head I'm like, yes, we're creating space, but really more we're creating dialogue.
Mm.
And it is kind of like, also I feel like we've never used the megaphone, but it is a little bit like that. So it is like, yeah, we're an umbrella, but we also have like this dialogue that we're creating in this like microphone or megaphone that we're like holding up to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where we serve the community the most.
We're hoping, especially hoping to be able to, because like I don't know how much voice we actually have. Like I don't know. Like, I mean, I've heard people like, I mean, I was stopped. Actually, I didn't tell you this. I was stopped in the middle of the photo shoot. We traveled around different places, right? And we were by Boxcar Alley. I park, and I walked to I walked to what I thought was Boxcar Alley. I walked around that bitch like 10 times before I found anybody. But anyways, I walk out and I'm like wearing my Queer Lina shirt, right? And somebody stops me and says, "Oh my God, Queer Lina." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's my company." And she's like, "That's your company?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I got so excited because I thought it was a stranger. And I was like, "Oh my God, did somebody find us like organically?" And then she's like, "I love Koee. I know her, and she's the founder."
Oh, that's Blair. Shout out Blair. It was Blair, wasn't it? They had a short, like mullety kind of hair.
Kind of, yeah. And we're with 2 other people.
Yeah, they said. Well, I'm like 99% sure it was Blair because Blair texted me because they did a Labubu Labubu swap meet.
Oh, I did see Labubus.
Why is that your face? Anyway, so they did a Labubu swap meet at somewhere downtown, and they said that they ran into you, and they were like, "Yeah, I ran into your co-founder today." I was like, "I wish I could have came, but we were doing like this photo shoot all day," and she was like, "I know, like I ran into your co-founder," and
yeah, no, she was really nice. She was like, "Oh my God," and I was like, "Yeah, Koee, my partner, my business partner, because I'm a co-founder," and I didn't even know what to say because I was just like, I also made this happen.
No, we were in depression school together.
Oh,
shout out depression school.
That's important.
Yes, take care of your mental health.
It's so important.
But yeah, I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about.
Megaphone.
Now.
So, yeah, I mean, we want to be a megaphone. We want to be an umbrella. We want to be able to support other people. And like, that's not us putting ourselves on a high horse being like, "Oh my God, we're special. And you can like, this is what we're doing." No, we just know like we are 2 creative people who work well together for some unknown reason.
For real.
And we just happen to have different skills. We happen to notice that like this niche wasn't here. And we're hoping that we can like make it bigger and also eventually get to the point where we can survive off of this.
Yeah. And also, like, on that, it kind of made me think of, like, this guilt thing. Like, I was talking about this in therapy today. Like, even within myself, like, sometimes I feel guilty taking up certain spaces and in my own queerness and, like, my fluidity and gender. And I was, like, talking about that. And I was like, you know, maybe, like, my point in this life or, like, one of my things in this life is that I'm supposed to be able to stand in multiple rooms. I'm supposed to be able to take up that space and, like, so that I can have conversations with people that they wouldn't normally have or things like that. And I think a lot of times it's easy to be like, well, why do you deserve this? Well, why do you deserve this? And I mean, we could say that to everyone.
But
why does anyone deserve anything?
To pause that, everyone deserves it. And the fact that you don't have it is the problem. It's not that nobody else deserves it. It's that you also deserve it.
Exactly. It's like, but that's the thing. It's like, what is it, an oxymoron? Is that what they call it? Where it's like, if it's true, it's also false. Or whatever, like it means the opposite.
Would kind of be an oxymoron.
I don't know,
yeah, I guess
but like where, yes, everybody, like, why does anybody deserve anything? But equally, everybody deserves everything. And I know that's like a stupid, like, okay, yeah, blah blah blah. That's not the society we live in. I get it, but I am a firm believer that fucking grab life by the balls. Just
go and
do something. Like I've always just been the person to just do something. And I don't know. I grew up really poor. I grew up without a lot. And I feel like half the people that even know who I am don't really know my backstory and a lot of the bullshit I've been through. And I feel like even though it's like making me even have like anxiety wanting to say it right now, I think I fucking deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying to like also deserve stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not saying that nobody else does.
No. I think that's where people get it though, is like they'll see something, they'll see somebody succeeding at something and they'll be like, well, you don't deserve that because they don't see what all you put into it.
Mhm.
And like there's a point where it's like, yeah, okay, like there's just jealousy, or there's, well, I don't see what you did,
Mhm.
because it's hard to see what somebody is doing. I mean, we've even noticed that with us. Like it's like, well, I don't feel like you're working hard. And it's like, oh, well, actually, like
Yeah.
until I do the thing that you did, I don't realize how hard it
Yeah,
was.
and I mean, it's even like, and it's also there's so many layers and nuance to it. I mean, I have a thought, so I'm trying to pin it for later about
Mhm.
that. But like there's so many layers, there's so much nuance. I mean, privilege comes into it, and that's
Yeah.
a thing too. Like we are two white people who are moderately cis presenting at times. At least you're always cis
Yeah.
presenting. I'm like,
Well,
well,
you
not
say that.
always. I'm sorry.
You say
I'm
that.
sorry.
You say that. And then I just got asked if I was a boy. So
Period. But like,
maybe gender is so fluid that it
yeah.
doesn't fucking matter.
But that's the thing. Like, we all have inherent privileges. There's this book called The Unfair Advantage, and I can't remember who it's by right now. But it's actually more like business related. But they talk about how we're all born with these inherent unfair advantages,
Yeah.
like charisma or those kind of things.
Mm.
And I think like we all have unfair advantages, and it is wasteful to not use your unfair advantage. And not to say that privilege should exist in the way that it does in our capitalistic society. It should not. It should not be based on, sex or color. That's so fucked.
I think you're thinking of strengths rather than privileges then. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like we all have strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have
Okay.
strengths. But either way, if we have, I don't know. I'm just saying, if we have privilege and we can make change in
Yeah.
spaces, why not use that privilege? I'm
Yeah.
not asking for the privilege. I don't want the privilege, but I also acknowledge that it's there and that I'm going, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Right?
God. Wait a minute. Stop. Actually, the book that I'm reading right now, it's called Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle, and we're reading it for book club literally tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a portion in here, and let's see if I can find it. But it was like, essentially, this guy is gay and he's like a writer or something like that. And he's like, he's not like fully out, but people know. Queer
Mm-hmm.
people know, right? And oh my God, where is it?
10 hours later.
Hang on. Okay. So he's gay. He's a writer. And he asks somebody that's driving him to the Oscars, and he says, do you care that I'm not like officially out? And she says, coming out is a very personal thing. It's not really my business whether you're gay or straight, or whether you want to shout it from the rooftops. That being said, what better way to show you're proud of something than by, shouting it from the rooftops? He says, I didn't ask for that responsibility. I think this is where we are. We didn't ask for that responsibility. She says, I know. John McClane didn't ask to be responsible for Nakatomi Plaza either. Nobody has to be a hero for anyone else. That's kind of the whole point. Now, that being said, I'm not saying we're heroes. I am not saying that we have white savior complex. It was just the line in the book, and it just made me think of it because it's like, I think that's where it's like nobody asked to be the person that takes that privilege and actually like
Uses it.
yeah, utilizes it.
Like,
Nobody asks to be the person responsible for that.
and it
But
also,
somebody has to be.
it comes down to like, if you believe in something beyond us as well. And I think we're both those people who
Believe in life after love.
Oh my God. Believe in something beyond ourselves. And I believe that ideas do kind of come from somewhere else. And I think they are dropped onto people's plates. And I think some people pick them up and some people try and they slide through their hands. And then some people keep them.
Yeah.
And I think like it was just one of these things where it was like,
this just happened and
it was there.
It has to be.
It was such a short conversation. Everything fell together so beautifully and strangely.
Even for the things that haven't worked well,
like
it's been the best case scenario, I think.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the things that didn't work led us to being better at this, and it's so quick. It's not like the things where it's like, oh, like your trauma made you fight harder and so you're so strong. It's like no. Literally, things that went wrong gave us the opportunity to do it differently in a way that was either easier or better or met the right people to create something else better. Like,
and it really makes it feel like it is something more than, and I mean, it is something more than just us. And we've always wanted it to be more than just us. Yeah. That was the whole point, but it's just like confirmation from the universe and from the world that like it is, because of the way everything kind of fell so closely into each other. And then I think also just that we're the two people that are doing it. Like, I feel like, like those fucking TikTok videos be saying, it's like, yeah, girl, you're the one doing it because you're the one that needs to do it. You're
Yeah.
the one that has the bandwidth to do it. You're the
Yeah.
one that has the capability. I think we have the skills. I think we have the mindset for it. I
Mhm.
think
And we
that's one
happen
of
to
the
both have
things.
the time. I think that's like,
Yeah.
that's also where it was like my other business was decreasing so quickly because nobody can afford a fucking
Mhm.
organizer in this economy so much that like, okay, well, I have time then.
Yeah.
Like, and you have time because you're lucky enough to have a partner that supports you. Like,
Yeah. Team.
and eventually my partner will move in and support me. Just kidding. I'm also trying to make money. That's not also kidding. He's amazing. You're a very amazing supporter and I love you. But yes, I do want to also work for myself too. I want
Yeah.
I want this to get to the point, and I know you do too as well,
Mhm.
where it's like we aren't just volunteering our time. Like I know like in our society that's a lot to say too. Like we don't want to make money off of other people. But at the
Yeah.
same time it's like we need to get back a little bit so
Yeah.
that we don't struggle, because it's not kind of fair to our partners that they're doing like
Mm.
so much. And like we're working, but we're not helping.
Like, we're not asking to be Bill Gates or
Hell no.
be a billionaire or a millionaire, but like being able to pay the bills would be nice.
Yeah. And to be able to pay the people that are working with us. Like
Yes,
I would love to be able
exactly.
to pay Ellen for
Yeah.
all the help she's doing on the magazine and for doing the whole fucking book club. Like she's like, this is not just, oh, I decided to have a book club and like we just bring a book and
Yeah,
let's,
no, like
she's
really
like got like a whole outline and everything.
popped her thing on that.
Yeah, she's amazing. And like Sienna photography,
Oh my gosh, incredible.
amazing. And like being able to, I mean, I know you're doing the podcast editing right now, but like it'd be nice to be able to hire somebody to edit either this one or our other podcasts as they happen. Like that's also where like Nikki comes in. Like Nikki is our first addition to the umbrella that's not just us.
Yeah.
Nikki she approached us while we were doing one of our podcasts with her, and she said something about a podcast that neither of us could do. She's in healthcare, we're not. And she just wants to like talk about healthcare and queer people. And I haven't watched them yet because she's just recorded, I think, like 3 or 4 of them. I'll be editing those ones, hopefully, if all goes well. But she's the first one that was like, yeah, I believe in this. Let's go. Like, and we're going to add her to the team.
Yeah. And it's just kind of been like that. And that also a good point to like bring up. If you're someone who's like, how do I do something like this? How do I do something like a community-based effort? I recently had a friend, shout out River. We're just shouting out people today in this episode. Shout out River Monet, a amazingly talented burlesque performer. She was like, I've learned in this industry, like, if you're not annoying, you're not doing it right. And I've like heard that before, but like when she said it, it just really stuck with me because it's so true. And it's like when you feel like you're annoying someone, or not when you're annoying, but when you feel like you're annoying, you're doing it right. Because ask the questions, ask the people, talk to the people. Like, don't be afraid to be like, you know what, I want to do this, because you never know.
And double
Like,
texting, like there's so many times where like we are both on this email, right? So if somebody emails us and one of us opens it, the other one might not notice that it hasn't been responded to, right? Like, or we might be like, oh, I need to respond to this, put it on our task list, and then we have a million other things that we're doing, right? Like that's the reality for most business owners.
And girl, if anybody's tried to ever DM me, you already know that I'm bad at responding. Like, you should see my unread text. It's like in the thousands, okay? You have to double, triple text me. You're not gonna annoy me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're texting me every single second of every single day, you will annoy me. I'm gonna be real. But if you text me moderately a few times in a row because you really need something from me or you really want something, that is probably the best way to get in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah. And also just like assuming that people are busy. Like that's the first assumption. Never assume that it's malicious. Never assume that it's about you. That's your first internal monologue that is fake. That's your imposter syndrome saying, oh, well, I guess this isn't meant to be. Oh, well, I guess like it just wasn't like it wasn't meant, like I shouldn't bother them. Like, no, fucking ask them again. And if they don't answer like 5 times, fine. But then find somebody else.
And also sometimes the answer will be no.
And that's okay too.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you don't know if you don't knock on the door, it's never going to open.
Yeah.
If you don't try to turn the knob, it's definitely not going to open, you know?
Yeah.
It's just things like that.
I mean, there's things that we've looked for, like where we were looking for venues or when we were looking for people to work with the magazine, when we were looking for people to do podcasts, like okay,
And
it's a no, or we can't get a hold of somebody. That's okay. Then they can come back later, or they weren't meant to be because it was too expensive, you know?
And sometimes, like, I mean, it is a lot. That's what I was going to say. It's a lot, I think, to, like, put yourself out there over
It
and
is.
over again. Excuse me. And then have people, like, I don't know, like, discount you or feel like they're discounting you, you know, because something doesn't work out. Or having so many no's. But trust me, it's worth it. Like Lady Gaga said, there could be 100 people in a room and just one has to say yes.
I mean, that's fair.
Or
and
something.
I know that you're
Or
like
she said something like that.
saying
I don't
it in
know
a really
what
weird
she
tone,
said.
but that is very true. Like, I
That's
feel
like my Lady Gaga. Was it
that's
giving?
also sure. That's also literally what Koee was talking about today, because I was like, okay, so for the magazine, right? Like originally it was 5 of us writing, and then
Ooh, my therapist also had a good idea, so please remind me.
okay, pin on therapist.
Yeah.
And it turned into, okay, well, just me and one other person are writing a lot, and like other people contributing like poems every once in a while. And then it was like, okay, actually, that other person doesn't want to write. I think that was Megan. Yeah, because Ellen was still writing every once in a while. And so it was like mostly me. And I was like, this doesn't sound right. If we're saying queer vision, it can't just be me. Like, that's not fair. That's weird. And also that's a lot of work on me. And so I was like, I still want to write every time. But like, if I want it to be quality magazine, we got to open this up. So we open up the guest submissions. That's why we have guest submissions in the first place, which I'm actually like, I'm so glad it turned out that way. Because we get so many different voices, and so many different types of articles. And so we got like a flood of articles coming in and like poems and stuff like that. And then it was like nothing. And then like I would post something and I get like a few. And then like I'd post something and I got nothing for a while. And I was like, oh shit. And now I'm like putting stuff in for the October issue, which like it's what, end of August right now. So I'm putting stuff in. I was like, oh my God, like I don't have anything past October. Like, what if, and I got in my head, what if it's dried up? What if nobody else is going to like post anything? So then I go and I talk to one of the amazing people that we've interviewed, Soph. And I was like, hey, like, you're a librarian and also you are amazing and know a lot of people. And like, I'm assuming that either you like writing or you know people that like writing. And so I was like, so this is a situation. And I was just like, we don't have any more submissions. And I would really like to see more people's voices in later issues because I don't know if I could do this without them. And immediately he's like, I know people, let's go. And so send them to us. And whenever I was talking to Koee about that today, I was like, yeah, we got some more because of Soph. Like, this is great. Then what did you say to me? You said, how did you even say that? You were like, glad I asked for help or some shit.
Oh, yeah. It's been the theme today.
Yeah.
I quoted what River said and said, if you're not annoying, you're not doing it right because I don't know. It's just like, because I think I've been more talking to myself because lately I go through these phases where I get very like standoffish and not intentionally. It's just like, I just get too in my own fucking bullshit in my own head. And so like, I forget to like reach out to the people around me and like ask the people around me for anything. And same thing in drag. Like, I feel like I haven't been being like, hey girl, you need this for this? Can I join this show? Can I do this? You know? Cause like that, especially in the entertainment industry, is how you get in. And yeah, I just said that to you. I think it's good we balance each other out.
I think we do. And like, Ellen and I don't look as queer as you do. Like, I know that's not like,
I'm the token gay.
oh my God.
I'm the token fag around here, apparently.
No, it's just sometimes I feel like that's my imposter syndrome, is I don't look gay enough to be running a gay company.
Yeah, my imposter syndrome is somehow I'm not gay enough, which is like, I'm not queer enough or trans enough. That's really crazy. I'm really crazy. Sometimes I say things out loud and I'm like, girl, you are literally insane. Like,
I think this helps though, because
bonkers.
like everyone does this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like,
and if you don't, good for you, girl.
Can you teach us your ways?
Have y'all ever seen that video of that girl and she's like, you're a hooker? How'd you get this car? You're a hooker? Good for you, girl. You ever seen that?
No.
Where'd you get your money from?
I'm a hooker.
You're a hooker?
Yeah.
So good for you, girl.
That's what it makes me think of when I say, good for you, girl. That's the voice I'm giving you. If you don't have imposter syndrome, good for you, girl, because it couldn't be me. And I wish it was, though.
Anyway. I don't know. Running a business is fun and interesting. I think that I have a little bit more experience because I ran the other business, but even with that, every business is so different.
Yep.
And I think the bigger that we get, the more interesting it is to me, because like in my other business, the bigger that I got, it was just more clients, right? This one, it's like the bigger that we get, it's more so like just seeing people and being like, oh yeah, I already follow you guys, or like, and we don't even have that many followers.
We don't, but we're almost to 1,000.
We're almost to
Get us to
1,000.
1,000.
I mean, by this
on
point, we probably
Instagram.
will be.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's kind of funny because it really is like taking like the two things and kind of like combining them in a way, but not like what we both did, because
yeah.
it's very this is very influencer-esque in a way, because I mean we
Yeah.
are on a podcast. We are, I don't want to say figureheads. I don't know. We're like faces.
Well, we are
we're the faces of the
business.
company. So like it's very influencer-esque, and a lot of it, since it's so community-based, is it's very it's like
Yeah.
personable, and it's more about who knows you and what you're doing in the
Yeah.
area. And I'd like to think, as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the year, that we've done pretty good for 1 year, and or less than a year right now, and I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not
At
either.
all.
I think we've done really, really good. And I think like it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah.
And I think the fun part is like, because we balance each other so well, like you are very much I get so excited by new things, and like you just want to do the new and the new and the new and the new, and then like forget about the old as much. But like, and that's your fault, like your flaw. My fault and my flaw.
That's your fault.
No. Okay. But like my fault and my flaw are that once we start something, or once I start something, I feel like I have to see it through, even if it's no longer serving. So like I am such a completionist that I don't even like DNFing books. I've had to like convince myself by mathematics that I have to DNF books.
What is DNF?
Did not finish. So like
when you don't like it?
Yeah.
So the sunk cost fallacy has you bad.
It's more so like I'm like, it's not even the sunk cost. It's like even though I'm not interested in every moment that I'm reading, I want to hear the end, or else I haven't finished the book. So it's like, it doesn't count as like a finish. And so I'm like, okay, but then I'm taking a lot of time reading it. And then it's like, okay, but like I can only read like 150 to 250 books a year. Well, then if I live until I'm 80, I can only read this many books. And then it's like, well, I have this many books in my house, so I could never even finish those books if I keep reading these, it's this whole math thing. And like, that's where I am with this, where it's like, just talking to you, talking to Sienna, talking to Ellen, even about like the magazine, where it's like, okay, I know, I acknowledge, and it's scary for me, but I acknowledge that there's one of two things is going to have to happen. One, eventually somebody else is going to take over the magazine. And I will have to let go. And that doesn't mean let go of control of it in the sense of like checking over it, making sure everything's okay. But like, I will have to be like, okay, I'm trusting somebody else to lay this out and me not have to take it over. You know what I mean? Like that scary thing that I have where it's like, oh, if I give somebody else to do the thing and then like it doesn't get done, I have to do it last minute and then I'm more stressed. Yeah. Getting over that, or it ends one day. And like, that's the two options.
Yeah. It's so funny you said that too, because on the way back from like the gym this morning, I was literally thinking about how one day I'm going to be old. And it was so funny. It played, what song played after that? Some song that was like so similar. But anyway, I was talking about like getting old, and or like thinking about getting old. And I was like, one day I'm going to be like, we used to throw these kick-ass parties. It was called Strut Slut.
Do you think we're still gonna be friends? Like whenever
Hopefully.
I move, I don't know, like whenever Ellen moved, though, like I still love our friendship. It's definitely changed.
Oh, it's definitely gonna change, especially if you move across the country.
Yeah, but like, so that's what I mean. Like, is it easy for us because like I'm here? Like because I'm across the street?
I mean, yes, it's easy for us because that, but it doesn't mean it's gonna like be over.
I really hope that the business is gonna do as well whenever we're not
It's
together.
not just because you're across the street.
I hope so.
If we didn't, it's not just because you're across the street. A lot of people could be across the street and this would not be happening.
No, I don't know. Just like being easier. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's going to be different. I don't think it's going to be harder or easier or.
It's going to be different, yeah.
It's just going to be different.
Especially if we have more people on the team, it'll be fine. I guess I just get in my head about it too, because it's like, oh God, what if I'm the reason that like things fall apart because I leave, and then like it's harder for you to do the things.
And if they do, then we had a good run and we did something that created history, and I think I'm okay with that.
That's fair.
I think I'm also at this period in my life too where I'm not ready to let go of this per se, but like I'm ready to acknowledge that everything does have an end once
Yeah.
again and like be comfortable with that.
I'm trying to get comfortable with that because I feel like endings equal death to me, and I have such a thing about death,
Yeah.
which I know a
'Cause
lot
it
of
is a
people
death
do.
in a sense.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do. I just, like, I get, like, I don't know. That's what happens whenever you have death trauma.
Real. You have death trauma?
Yeah. I mean, I've almost died multiple times.
You've almost died multiple times?
How do you think I found out my heart didn't work?
Well, I didn't think that far back. I thought like they just did routine scans or something.
No.
That's scary.
I was literally here's how I figured out it happened is I started getting migraines, and they were like, "Well, you know, it's probably just like your last year of college, you know, you just like you're depressed, you're like really tired all the time, like you just need to sleep like all the time. That's what's giving you
They
migraines, you know,
love to say
whatever."
that.
And then I moved down here and it got worse, like to the point where I was like falling asleep while I was driving to Raleigh, which is not that far,
Yeah.
you know, and like I was like sleeping all the time. I was exhausted. And I end up getting a closer job, fine. My migraines are like out the ass, like they're bad. And my anxiety goes up because I'm life, you know, living alone for the first time ever. And one of my friends gives me a well, no, one of my friends smoked with me and I didn't really feel good after that. Like I smoked weed for the first time and I was like, "Oh, this will help my anxiety." I didn't really feel good after that. I didn't notice any change like in my anxiety, but I just didn't feel good after that. And then like, I don't know, like a few months later is whenever one of my friends is like, "Well, if that didn't work, like here's an edible." But I didn't like try the whole edible. It was like, "Here's a
Yeah.
brownie." Like he's like, "Start with half of it." It was small. Like it wasn't like it's like start with half of it. So I started with like an eighth of it. I had an eighth of a brownie. And I'm sitting there. No change mentally. But I'm like, okay, whatever, like painting my nails. Like I've been told it takes a while to kick in, like whatever. All of a sudden I get an adrenaline. I'm watching TV, painting my nails, calm, anxious, as always. Paint my nails, and all of a sudden I get an adrenaline rush out of my chest, down to my fingertips, and start shaking like I'm having a seizure. And I'm like, I can't catch my breath. And I start to black out. So
So
I
you had a
sit
heart
down.
attack?
No, I didn't have a heart attack. I had an adrenaline dump. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like I feel funny. And then like I don't even think check my heart. I was like, okay, well, like something happened. I don't know, whatever. I'm young. I'm 23. So I'm like, nothing bad is gonna happen to me, right? So I like put my feet up, you know, like lay down. Okay, I feel better. Immediately another adrenaline surge. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? And I'm like on the phone with my dad. I'm like, I don't feel good. Like something's wrong. And all of a sudden when that hit, I was like, this is not good. I am my lips are tingling. Like I am not okay. So I called the emergency line, right? And they're like, okay. I was like, please stay on line with me. I was freaking out at this point because I was panicking because of the thing that was happening. They show up, those dumbasses, one of them was like, I can't hear you because your dog is barking. I was like, well, why do you think he's freaking out? Is it maybe potentially because two people came in here in a uniform while his mother is on the floor trying not to pass out? Do you think that maybe that'd be why he's freaking out? The older one, the more seasoned one, was like, let me go get treats for him. You know, where are they at? Whatever. Gets my purse and everything. He's great. The initial one who's complaining about the dog was like, you're just having a panic attack. And I was like, nope, I've had those before. It didn't start in my chest. It started in my head.
And you also told them that you took an edible?
At that point, I didn't because I didn't know that was the cause. And so he had me like breathe through a thing, and I was like, he had me attach the blood cuff thing, and every time an adrenaline thing happened, I was like, and another adrenaline thing happened. I was talking calmly, but I was shaking, so they thought I was freaking out. And then eventually he's like, oh, it's not a panic attack. I was like, what? They like take me to the fucking emergency room, and they just give me, they're like, oh, you're just dehydrated, and they give me liquid. Now, here's the thing. The dumbass thing that I have in my nervous system just tells my body that I am dehydrated, and it gives me the symptoms of severe dehydration. That's what like the nervous system freaks out from. That's my trigger. I wasn't actually dehydrated. I was given a stimulant, which is the wrong version of weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that. And then
You were given a sativa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. One of them's like, what?
I mean, it is
It's not a stimulant, but it's like it stimulates your nerves. And so it had the opposite effect. And then that kept happening. That was the first time that happened. That kept happening like randomly, and he kept sending me to the hospital. And it like I could not figure out my triggers. Later on figured out obviously caffeine. Probably shouldn't have weed, shouldn't have any other like things like that. Can't have alcohol. Can't get in a hot tub.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it's something with the blood vessels. I don't know,
Mhm.
something like that. Yeah, so, yeah, I've almost died multiple times. That's why,
That's scary.
yeah. There was one time that I was like, well, the only every time I go, they just give me liquids, and that's I'm like, so I'm just dehydrated. So I literally sat out. It happened in Ohio, and I was at a cabin in the woods. So they drove me to my friend's house, his friend's mom's house, because she lived in town. And I was like, I'll be fine. I just need to like drink water. So I literally laid out in the middle of winter. I laid outside because anytime I got warm, I had more of the adrenaline dumps. So I literally laid outside on the fucking deck, chugging water, trying to make it work for 2 hours. And she's like, this is not, I'm calling EMS
Yeah,
and
for
having them
real.
come. But yeah, so that's, I almost died. But then also I lost a lot of people because my family's all old.
Yeah. See.
Death trauma.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep that in there, but
I feel like if you don't want the people to know,
oh, I don't care. That was
But
just a really long story.
no, I think people would be intrigued by it.
Oh,
Personally.
if anybody was listening and didn't know, I have dysautonomia, and then I have
Yeah.
hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which I think is the cause for the dysautonomia.
God only knows.
So yeah, I've almost died a million times.
That's scary boots.
The first time that happened, whenever I switched my heart medicine
I'm
and
not
Justin and I
laughing
were
at you.
dating, I
I
know.
almost just trauma dumped so hard, and then I was like, no.
I mean, I just trauma dumped, essentially.
I was just gonna say, well, I watched my mom's ex-boyfriend die on the front porch and bleed everywhere, and then get revived. Another story for another day. I love keeping y'all on the edge of
So
your
he
seat.
lived. Oh, not
And
happily.
I did roll my eyes, but if you knew the man, you would understand.
That's fair.
He was abusive and an addict. Not that
So
addicts deserve to die.
So we're everyday people, you know,
Yeah,
just
not
everyday people who have been through some trauma.
Yeah, not that addicts deserve to die. Addicts deserve recovery, and
But that doesn't excuse behavior.
yeah,
towards
I
other
would
people.
assume, I would hope that he's getting his recovery, but I know that he's not because people in my town talk. It's tiny.
Same. So anyway, that was our trauma ending of
That was the ending of
our chit
our
chat.
chit chat hour.
One eternity later.
So maybe the rapture did happen, and this is it because we would be left, right? I don't know. I like to think I'm a loving, caring person. But what
rapture
if
takes the good people?
But what if God is like capitalism? What if, hear me out, after this, it's just more elitism and capitalism? What if it's just more you kiss the right ass of the right person, you get in? But I like to think not. I like to think that that's what people think. That's what like mass religions think. Because when you think about it, you're just kissing the ass of some ruler in your head. And you're also too scared to give yourself the reins to live your own life. So you have to have some rule book to live by, because if not, that scares you too much. Because if you don't have rules, then what are you? Freedom is scary.
I do think that a lot of people tend to head towards like religion and hyper capitalism because they don't know how to come up with their own boundaries for themselves.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I did have like a little panic one time whenever I realized that I could have like whatever food I wanted whenever I wanted it, and that like it's my fault. It's my fault if I spend too much money.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not on like rent and stuff like that. That's not.
But it's so much easier to be like, the devil got me this week. Like, no, babe, you got you this week. Let's be fucking for real.
Which kind of makes sense because then like that's kind of why the Republicans who are gay that are like, it's the devil's work, can be like, it's the devil's work. It's because they're gay, but they don't want to admit they're gay. So they're like, no, that's just the devil in me.
Yeah, so what happens when someone murders somebody and they're like, well, the devil just took me over. I'm sorry.
Well, that's whenever they end up in a psych ward.
Yeah, but they say that shit on a lower level every day.
Oh, for sure they do.
So it just makes no fucking sense. I don't know how I got on this tangent, but I find that, like, honestly, this is actually a good topic to talk about. Digital clutter. We need to have, like, some digital organizers. Or that has to be a thing, right?
Yes, I do that for people sometimes.
Okay.
Not as often.
But, like, digital clutter is overwhelming.
It is.
For me, like, having so many facets of my life on the internet, it's like, if I put in my phone or my laptop,
It's gone.
I mean, it kind of helps sometimes, you know, like the Notes app or like our task list. Really, that's why I've been putting like really important things in my actual life in the Queer Line task list, because I'll look at it because it's like a job. When it comes to my actual life, it's so much harder. Like, I feel like I have to have it posted somewhere. And then even now where I'm still working to get my house put together, it's like, even if it's posted somewhere, it kind of doesn't matter.
My tablet helps me, I think, because like it's not connected to anything else. I don't have like my pictures on that. I don't have like anything on there. So it's literally just like, this is my work thing.
Yeah. Now that I have my content phone back, I'm going to make that just like all content stuff. So it can be a
You
little
don't
bit
miss all your
better.
videos.
Yeah. And I think I honestly may just like, which is might be crazy to do, but I may just like delete Instagram, all the socials off of this one. So that like, if I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to be involved, I don't want to be plugged in, I'm going to take the other phone.
Sorry.
You know, I'll just take this phone and I'll leave the other phone.
Mhm.
And then when I want to scroll or work or do any of those things, I'll pull out the other one, because to me, scrolling can be kind of work in a weird way. Because it's like being
Networking.
plugged in and it's being like, I don't know, market research. Sometimes it's rotting. Oh my God. If this is going to be a talking post, this is a good time for me to talk about the hole that I fell into. I told you about on Instagram.
Which thing?
The whole of men flashing their whole penis on
Oh, I forgot
Instagram
about that.
Reels. And I know that I built that algorithm brick by brick. I know that saving them has made them come back up. But I'm still astonished of how many there are. Because there's a lot of them. And they don't get removed. It's like turning into Tumblr or those other apps slowly but surely. Like, we're becoming so sexual as a society, which like I'm not mad at.
I find it weird that like nudity that is not sexual is flagged faster.
That is true. Than actually the ones that is sexual. And it's mostly men. Because you know, if it was a woman and her cooter was out or something, I don't know why I use that word. If her, that was my country coming out. If her bits were out, it would be flagged so fast and took down. But men will have their whole dicks, and it's just like, that could be a dildo. But like, it's obviously not sometimes. Sometimes you don't know that.
I think part of it is because girls and gays don't flag things as often as men do, like straight men.
That's real. Because their target audience with that stuff is gay men.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting. Algorithms are interesting.
I'm just stuck on politics. I can't get out of it.
But I did re-blog something on the Queer Vision Mag today that was
You did.
or reposted, because it was about Wake County, who they came out and they were like, we're going to make October LGBTQ History Month. And they went and took it to like their board and
County
stuff.
did?
And then they had
repealed
so
it.
many. Yeah, essentially, then the guy was like, oh, we shouldn't have taken a side because this is we don't want to make anybody feel bad.
But
Somebody may get their feelings hurt if we say we actually support people.
But also, this is the thing. Like,
Shut the fuck up.
Like, I think that the dumb thing is like, when people are like, I don't want to take a side, that is you taking a side.
No,
you are taking a side of the people that are trying to take people's rights away.
You are always taking a side in life, and you just have to get over that. And you cannot put yourself in a place of political power and expect to never have to take a side. You can't put yourself in any place of power and not expect to take a side.
That's it.
If
Any place of power.
Like, we even have, like, it's not a high place of power, but in some rooms we have places of power. So there's going to be sides that we have to take. And that's just part of it that comes with it. A friend to all is a friend to none, baby. Point blank, period.
Yeah, you can't make everybody happy. It's not a thing.
Yeah, and I've been there so many times, and I feel like we've talked about it on the podcast a lot too, just about coming into this business and like doing the things that we're doing. Like, you learn that quick, and you have to really, it's something you have to remind yourself constantly. Like, not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody's going to be on my wavelength. Not everybody's going to feel me the way that I'm feeling me, you know, or the bad people in my corner are. And that's okay. And being an artist too, it's like that. Because like, not everybody's going to understand what the fuck you're doing. Like, tonight I'm wearing a headpiece made out of duct tape with a bunch of random cords and a few rhinestones on there. But it's all made with hot glue, so there's hot glue strings kind of all over it, but it kind of adds to the aesthetic, right? Because it looks like an old corrupted like computer system, and that's kind of what I'm going for. But not everybody's gonna get it. There's gonna be the girls that are gonna be like, this looks rough, babe. What are you doing? Like, that's sloppy. But like, I'm not confining myself to those standards anymore, and I feel like I've spent a lot of my life doing that.
I think that's also where I am with like my writing and stuff like that, is because like I've always thought that I was like a bad writer, because whenever I was in middle school and high school, I had those like writing teachers that were like, you're terrible at writing. Like this is not structured well, or this is not blah, blah, blah. And then like there was one like substitute teacher, and she was like, I love the way you write. It sounds like a diary. And I was like, at that point, I took that as like a bad thing. Like diary writing is like a bad thing. Cause like, I don't know.
That's the thing. It's all in perspective. And it's art at the end of the day. Like all art is in perspective. And it's really hard when you get into a new art form, especially, and you start making community. It's all subjective. And when you get into a new art form or a new field in any way, it's so easy to like, when you make community and you're like, these are what the people are doing. This is what people are liking, blah, 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 blah. I'm speaking from a drag perspective. But that's not always your purpose or your way. I think that's something that I'm working on a lot recently because I am a messy artist. And I just need to kind of own it. Like, it's always been my vibe. Like, if you go look through my makeup and stuff, like, it's because I spent days and hours and weeks and months sitting and doing makeup for 8 hours plus because I wanted it to be so, so perfect. And it never could be.
See, I'm the exact opposite because I've had, like, I'm a perfectionist too. Like, but it's perfectionist to like the look that you have, right? You want it to look how you have imagined it, right? And like, I feel like I have always been told that my art is boring. So it's like, cause like the style of stuff that I do, that's why every time that you always have to remind me, you are creative, you are, cause it's like I've never been told that I'm a creative person because I go online, then I find things that I like and then I just change them.
But that's also artistic.
It is, but it's boring.
That's the thing. Like that brings me to a whole nother thing about like stealing like an artist. There's a book about it. I listened to a little bit, didn't listen to it all. But the concept of like nothing's original at this point and you're all stealing, but it's about like the way you take it and the way you make it your own. But also it is interesting to think about like the opposite sides of the spectrum with us because I feel like I feel like the way I do art is like people are like, yeah, you're creative, you're an artist, but also sometimes it's like, I don't understand. Like, this is a lot. Like, this is a little too off the wall. This is a little too crazy.
And then mine is too buttoned up.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, even like with the magazines, like sometimes I'm like, how do I like make this look less structured? And then I'm like, but it is a magazine, so like it's okay if it looks structured.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like sometimes I'll just be like, Ellen, this doesn't look right. Fix it, please. And then she'll just like turn around and I'm like, what the how did you just even okay, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah. And you have to remember, like, everybody has their own aesthetic and their own vibe that they are drawn towards. Yeah.
I also just like am fascinated that we all look at things so differently because it's like I feel like I've been noticing it a lot, even just like with like the dumbest thing, the New York Times puzzles. Because I've been doing like strands, which is like, have you done strands?
No.
Okay, so it's
I'm sorry. It's like the fact that you thought I did was like, thanks. But
it looks like a word search, but like you know how like word searches like the words are straight. This one it has a topic, and then like the words can be in any shape whatsoever, and like the entire thing becomes words. Yeah. So like all of the things will all the letters will be taken up at some point by words that fill the theme, right? And so like I'll be looking at it, I'll be like, what the fuck is this theme? And I can't think of anything, and I'll have to do like the hints or whatever, and my dad will get it right away. And then sometimes I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, this one makes perfect sense. And Justin will be like, what the hell is this? Like just the things that like click in your brain.
And that's the thing that people have to remind themselves is like nothing is set in stone and everything was once said by somebody else who other people agreed with.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's weird being that person. And this is in the most non-egotistical way that I can mean this. I just feel like I've always felt this way. Like, I don't know, being the person that does kind of push the norm or like push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like, oh, I'm not saying I'm the most creative out there person, but I'm saying like, just sitting in like, I'm like pushing the norm is like, it's an interesting thing to experience. And it takes a lot of like self-reflection and self-courage and self-trust and trust in something else too. Like, I don't know. That's what like last night, it really helped me a lot because, and I've talked about Big Magic multiple times. So I'm not going to go into all of it. But like always, I was stressing out. I got added to a show on Saturday that I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to do or not. And then I was like, okay, But yeah, so I got added to this show and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like, I don't want to drop it. It's the last glitter hour at the Wicked Witch. I want to do it. It's gonna be fun. All the people are in it. And I was like, I really want to do this. But I didn't want to do the same number. I was like, I wanted to listen to Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus. I don't know why I haven't heard that in forever. And I'm like, and then I like had this little whisper in the back of my head, but I didn't listen to it at first. But I heard it say like, it's gonna be in this album. Like, I don't know. I sound like a fucking crazy person when I say shit like this. I sound like one of those white bitches that are like, and it came to me in a dream. I saw
You would have gotten put in like
they would have put me in the loony bin. Me and my mother both. Me and my whole fucking family. It's in our bones. We were I don't want to sound like that white bitch, but we were like, if you go to our ancestry in Salem, there were a lot of our people who were like in the Salem witch trials and shit.
moving on.
Moving on, I'm a witch. Got me. I'm not a practicing witch actually. But anywho, I really like there was something like my intuition just like told me, and then I kept listening, and then I heard Golden G String. And I knew the song. That sounds so funny to say. For some reason, Golden G String. But it's actually a really good song. And it's very deep.
I never heard it.
It's really good. And then, because it's going to be out by the time I've already done it anyway, like, I got this other, like, I hate using the word download, because sometimes, like, I love those bitches, but sometimes I hate those bitches, right? You know, like the TikTok tarot readers. But I still listen to them. My guilty pleasure. But yeah, like, almost like a download. And it was just like, because I could see what I needed to do. And I was like, ugh. And that's how I know it's something outside of me, because I was like, I don't want to do this, but I do because it's going to be good. Anyway, I'm going to cover my whole body in glitter, like head to toe. So you can see why I'm like, I don't really want to do this, because I know that there's going to be glitter everywhere in the
Well, it
house,
is glitter
in the
hour.
car. But it is glitter hour, and it's the last one at the Wicked Witch. And I'm also going to do like a little piece about the statistics of all like queer bars and lesbian bars and LGBTQ bars closing.
Okay, also going back, kind of that, and then kind of the thing you were talking about, like standing out thing. So like, I feel like I don't push like as many boundaries as you do, clearly, about like a lot of different things, right? Like I don't. Oh my god, I don't.
Just kidding.
I feel like in my thing I do like test like gender norms in some senses, but I don't do like obviously like I am not a trans individual.
I think it's also like that difference of like being AFAB and being AMAB, and how we kind of are doing the same things in a lot of ways, except for I dress up like super femme and you never really dress up like super mask intentionally and want to be
or
presented that
super
way.
femme.
Yeah, but like there's still a way in which you're defining gender norms, but it's always and not in a discrediting way, just like in an actual societal way, the way it is.
I feel
It's
like
always
more
going to be
actions.
less.
It's also always
Yeah.
it's almost always more actions. Like I feel like whenever I was in school, like in college, I felt more like I was doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because I was one of 6 women in my engineering
Exactly.
class. You
It's all
know?
about like the rooms you're in and where you're at. But like, yeah, that's what I'm not trying to discredit and say that you're not.
No, I know.
But I'm like, you know, the way society looks at it, it's always been like, I don't know, when AFAB people,
even if I did the same percentage of what you are doing, it wouldn't
it
be
would
the
be
same
like,
because
yeah,
like women wear men's clothes all the
exactly.
time.
That's
You know?
what I'm trying to get
Yeah,
at.
I know.
Like the whole fact of like,
Because
when
femininity is the problem.
yeah, exactly. And like when people are like going after trans people, not that trans men are not affected, because they are
For
very
sure.
much so, but
It's different.
it's always a trans femme in the picture.
Mhm.
It's always when
because
someone, because it's
men dressing up as women are a threat, but women dressing up as men is just laughable.
and I think we talked about this.
That was not me
because-
saying it as real. That was
Yeah,
society saying
that's
it.
what the conservative bitches think. But I think like that's also, and we talked about this some too, about like, oh God, it's leaving me.
Now I feel like that clip's gonna come back, and somebody's gonna just like clip that in 20 years and be like, "Look what Becca said."
You know what? I don't give a fuck anymore.
This is where context matters. We know that
We get the point.
rapists don't need to dress up as women to get the job done. They're just accepted more than trans women are. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving on. But I was talking to my therapist today about the fact that like I was just talking about like things that I was mourning, right? I was like obviously we touched on like grief a lot because for obvious reasons right now grief is a thing, and so like we touched about that, and then like I was talking about how like last night my boyfriend and I were watching Castle. Have you watched Castle? So Castle is like, it's Nathan Fillion, who's hilarious. We love him. Well, at least we love him in shows. I don't know if we love him in real life. I don't know. He's funny though. But he is a writer of mystery stuff, and like he essentially starts helping detectives. But like he's funny, and then he raises his daughter, and he and his daughter have this really cool relationship where like they just respect each other, and she is just like, she's how I was in high school, where it's like very like bottled up a little bit of like I I didn't do anything wrong, like, because like I just didn't really want to do anything. I just was like, well, they're gonna let me do it anyway, like whatever. And then like the relationship between her and her father is very much like what mine used to be with my dad. And last night, whenever we were watching it, I hadn't watched Castle in like 10 years probably. Last night when we were watching it, I was just like, oh, the relationship's not like that anymore at all. Like, whenever I talk to my dad now, it's like, okay, what can I say that will not lead him to talk about politics and get him mad? What can I say at all that we can actually have a conversation about that isn't just our animals? Like, you know, or one of us being in pain because life sucks. And so I was talking to my therapist about that, and like she's like, it sounds like you're just like mourning and like grieving societal connections as well. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like I meet friends all the time. Like, like I love talking to new people. But there are times where like I go out and I'm like, I don't know, whenever you ask me what I do, should I tell you that I do professional organizing and I also run a magazine, or should I tell you that I run a queer business where we uplift queer voices and tell you everything about it? And she's like, why don't you just say that? And if they if they give you the face like, then you just say, okay, have the day you deserve and leave. Like, and I was like, well, that's true, because I do have the privilege of being a white woman where I'm not a man, so they're not going to punch me, and I'm not black, so they're not gonna like arrest me.
Yeah, it is. It's scary though, and I feel that because as like a more genderqueer, gender fluid person who's like able to in a way take off my femininity when I want. I mean, of course, there's instances where it like feels wrong, but it is
What feels
like,
wrong? Taking it off, or
yeah.
okay.
But like there's still times that I have to think about that. Like when I'm going to the gym or when I'm going somewhere else, like even honestly, and it's stupid and I really pushed myself and I haven't talked about it out loud, but like I'm proud of myself for going to get my nails done because there's a part of me that's been like hesitating getting my nails done again because I feel like I'm not going to be allowed in more masculine spaces because now there's something feminine about me. There's something
That you can't take off.
I can't take off that like somebody's going to clock and be like,
Which is kind of crazy because like literally every rule in this world is made up.
yeah, and it is. And I've never confined to it. And that's what I'm trying to stand back in that power. But in the time that we're in right now, it's scary. And we even see it in our own queer community. I feel like you even see like the congregation of cis gay men that are very exclusionary of any kind of feminine, even gay male, like gay male presenting person, like anybody that's not their version of a gay man. You know what I'm saying? There's just like the respect for femmes, I feel like, is lower than ever in all instances of the word.
I think it's because whenever we feel, and I think this is like a natural thing, whenever we feel attacked from something and we don't have someone else to attack, we come up with somebody to attack.
Yeah.
And since the power structures are like where they are, the hierarchy is, then we're trying to, in the queer community, create these subcultures and be like, okay, well then I'm here, and putting you down here makes me a little safer. That means I'll go last, at least.
You know, I haven't really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But that's true.
It is. I mean, that's why you'll see like a lot of conservative women are catty against each other because they're like, well, if you're the lowest rung woman, then I at least have power over someone.
If there's a few things that are intrinsically human, I think like the urge for power, I would argue is.
It is.
And I think people don't want to admit that. And I don't think it's like the best human quality or trait. And I think it can be very exalted and turned very bad very fast, obviously.
I also think people forget that you can have power over things without having power over people. Like, I feel like whenever you said that, I had like a visceral like, but I don't want to be in power over people.
No,
And I was
same,
like,
and I
no,
say
but
that.
like I do like having the power to control my own life, and I do like
Exactly.
having the power to like be able to afford things without like crying, you know?
Exactly.
Like I like the little thing that we're building to where like we would have the power to be like, hey, we would like to raise money for this
And
thing.
that's what I was about to say too. It's like I do enjoy the power like even I have in the community, and not
It's not
and
over
that could be
people, though.
clipped in a way that could be taken out of context. Because when I say that, I mean it more in the way of like
It's more like influence.
yeah, influence less than power. It's like being able to look at the room and be like, "Oh, I have a space to like I have a table
Yeah.
and I can offer you a seat because I've worked to
Yeah.
like build this table." Right?
It also helps with just like being able to conceptualize that those are other people. Because I think sometimes whenever you walk into a room, especially of people that you don't know, you're like, oh gosh, I could make the wrong move. Like, then these people are all going to be upset with me, or like, I just don't know what to do. And then you're like all thinking about yourself, and you forget that everybody else is also thinking about themselves. And so, like, once you like meet all of the people that are in the room, or like 7 people that are in the room, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I feel more comfortable.
It goes back, and it like once again goes back to the power and acceptance kind of like play in each other, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to still feel accepted in a room, and feeling accepted in a room gives you strength, it gives you power,
Yeah.
right? So putting yourself out there puts you at a risk for losing power, which kind of circles back to why it's hard to be vulnerable and to be real in somebody's face when you don't know how they're going to react, especially as a queer person, because it's like, okay, right now I feel comfortable and I feel safe and I feel like I have a sense of like power and agency over myself. But now, like, I'm giving that over to someone else to have the option to be like, no, wrong.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
that's why we have so many arguments right now in general. And like I think that's why the divide is getting farther and farther and farther and farther. And we've talked about the divide a billion times, but like I think that's why like if I have a discussion, I'm gonna use my dad. If I have a discussion with my dad, I'm afraid to talk to him because as soon as I say anything, he gets defensive, he gets angry, then I get defensive, and then I react instead of pausing and being like, okay, hey, I recognize that this upset you, you know? And like I wish that I could have that mentality, right? I wish that I was emotionally and with somebody else I might. We've had those discussions.
It takes two.
It does for sure, but like we've had those. Like and I feel like if because it's respect, it's dual respect of like when you sit down you're like, "Oh, actually that upset you." Or like, "Oh, you know what? I didn't mean that the way it came out." And then like I took that a different way and like you know, and it's recognizing your own you know what? Actually, that triggered something in me that like you didn't mean to tell me that I was a terrible person. You just meant that like, you know, this is going on in the world.
I think like also it's harder with family and people that have been in your life longer
For sure.
because it feels like there's this certainty already, or there's this like expectation that their relationship is non-contingent on anything. Like it's unconditional. Their love and their relationships are unconditional. There's this notion of that. I don't think it's true, but I think sometimes there is. I think like especially in like family dynamics, a lot of family thinks like, okay, I'm your parent.
fair.
Period. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
feel like
I'm always going to be in your life. You're always going to want me in your life because I'm your parent.
I feel like I could see that on his end. I feel like on my end, it's harder because as a child, at least, it's because whenever you talk to them, you just immediately turn back into the child that you were
Yeah.
and that they see you as, not as the adult that you are right now.
Yeah. And I think that is, no,
It's trauma. That's
Yeah.
trauma.
Um,
I feel like the little kid that doesn't know anything versus the 31-year-old who has at least some experience in life. Not as much as him. I will never have as much as him until, you know, he's been dead for years.
Yeah.
And then we won't be able to argue. So get that Ouija board. But then I'll be proven right, okay? And then he'll know that Trump is a racist fucker.
It'll be my mom's ass. Love her, but she'll come back to argue with me from the dead. I believe it. Yeah, I just think like I don't know, yeah, having that certainty. And I don't know, I see it in myself sometimes with relationships too. I mean, you think about how like long-term relationships get harder with time because you get more comfortable and you
That's
get
true. Get
more
complacent.
you also like I think there is a lot of feelings of like this person's going to be in my life forever. I don't know, when you have a relationship and you feel really secure in it. I don't know. I think it's a dangerous place you can be, right? I feel like what
That's
I'm
where
trying
that
to
7
say,
year itch comes
yeah,
in of like
it's
yeah.
like where I kind of find myself sometimes in my relationship and then I'm like, "Oh, I need to back it up and I need to like remember there's things I need to put into this relationship because there is still the option to like for it to be over, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And sometimes you have to remind yourself of that and be like, no, that respect needs to come from, I don't know, like that this could not be forever,
Mhm.
you know? And then
And
also like wanting to just treat people right. But I think it's easier to excuse things when you feel more security in something, right?
I'll agree
When
with
you're
that.
not scared of losing something.
I'll agree with that. I will say to that point, once you've acknowledged this crossing my boundary continuously is worse than you not being in my life.
Mhm.
I'm okay with you leaving my life. Then that is a turning point. And so like I don't want to get to that point again. I do want to keep the peace. And I'm doing that in the sense of like, and I know that there are like there's conflicting, like I follow multiple people on like TikTok and like some of them are like appreciate the people that are in your lives in the way that they can be. And some people are like, if they can't change, then they shouldn't be in your lives, right? And I appreciate both, but it's so hard because it's like, I don't know.
I think it's not a one size fits all.
It's
And I
not.
think it is really different for everybody. And having relationships with family is so hard for queer people in a lot of ways and rare. And I think, yeah, it's sometimes easier for us to settle. I think, especially right now, where there's not a lot of security anywhere, it feels like. And even if you're in like a queer relationship, then it feels like that security is even lower. Not that you don't have each other, but like it might not be recognized that you do.
Yeah.
You know, you might have all your assets tied, and who knows, they might be like, oh, never mind, we're just like going to remove people's marriage from the doc or whatever the fuck. I don't know. You know, whatever. They'll like legally appeal it. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't because it shouldn't and it shouldn't, but they're already doing it to trans people.
You're basically saying
They're going to
they said that we have it legally, but then what happens when they say that we don't?
Yeah, exactly. Because they've already done it to trans people who changed their name and their gender marker years ago, and then they've went back and rechanged their names back and changed their gender markers back.
Have they really?
I don't know about the name part, but I know about the gender marker part. Yeah,
I love that.
people have went to renew their passport and then they've changed it, and they wouldn't let them change to their name that they've already had on a or their gender marker that they already had on their previous passport.
I guess like I guess my biggest thing is like with the whole politics is why is it such a big deal?
Girl, like, is everybody so? You know what? Because we're all perverts. Everybody wants to know what's in everybody's pants.
I think that the Republican Party is telling on themselves.
Yeah. Like, girl, just ask nicely if you want to know what's in somebody's pants.
They don't know.
And they may say no.
Well, but they don't know what that means.
I know. Please don't. Please, actually, please don't. Actually, I'm rethinking that. And I'm like, I don't want a conservative coming up to people and being like, what's in your pants? Girl, just fucking mind your business. I don't know. Foreign of a concept.
So no, I have a question for you. I have a question for you actually. And I saw a thing online about this. And it's somebody that like I've aligned with a good bit on politics, but I've never actually sat down and had like a conversation with. And she put out a post that said something about like 6 or so years ago or 10 years ago or whatever, the statistics on the amount of people that believe that there's necessary violence to fix what's going on in the country was like in the teens. And now it's in the 30s%. And so it's risen. And in the comments, people were like, well, violence against who? And like, why? This is why, like, the Democrats will never, I don't know. It was like this, it was a bunch of people that were just like, this is why this country's going to fail and blah, blah, blah. Do you agree with any violence? Or do you think no violence? Or somewhere in the middle?
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it comes a point, right? It comes a point where it's like, okay, There's this song, "Oh Superman" by Laurie Anderson, I believe. I've performed it like once. It's that one that's like on TikTok and it goes, ah, 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 ah. You know what I'm talking about? It's like kind of weird and spooky.
No, sing it again.
Ah, 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 ah.
It's kind of cool because it's
Oh,
echoing.
Superman. Anyway, so it does like that. But anyway, she talks about it and she's like, when there's something like there's always love, and when love is gone, there's always justice. And when justice is gone, there's like always mom or something like that. But the point that I kind of take from it is because a lot of it is talking about like war and stuff. At least the way that I've always read into it. And I don't know, I think there comes a point where it's like, what happens when justice does fail you?
Yeah.
What happens when like justice isn't working anymore?
Yeah.
And there's some point where it's like you can sit there and be like, there's people that we know that we have in our lives that it's like, it doesn't matter how much you say something, how much you try to reason, how much you try to go. I don't believe in violence. I'm not a violent person. I've never fought anybody. But at one point, when you can't, with people in relationships, it's different, right? But there's people that you probably want to be like, I want to fight that bitch because she just won't shut up.
Mhm.
And she won't see, they won't see my side, won't see anything that I'm trying to explain, right? No matter how hard I try. And then you can just cut those people off and be done with them, right? But when it's your government, when it's
The people that are in
the people that are
power
in
opposing
power
you.
that can come to your door and you don't have a choice. You can't say, no, I don't want this in my life.
And I
it's
think
being forced upon you. Then what are you supposed to do?
I think the thing that bothers me in the whole discussion is people are like, well, you shouldn't incite violence because, and then it's like, well, what if you're in danger? And then people are like, people always go to, what if you're in danger? And I'm like, why do we have to wait until we are dying to defend ourselves? And now I'm not saying, hey, we should go start throwing bombs at things, right? But I am saying, like, why do we have to wait until people are being kidnapped at 1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
with no warrants and no information on when they're going to get out? Or, why do we have to wait until then and do what? Do nothing?
And I mean, you have to think about like, I don't know, history too. Like when these things,
The patterns say.
the patterns say that when this shit happens, you kind of have to revolt.
You have to revolt. And
Because
revolt
nobody wants to fucking listen and get it through their thick head of what's being said because it's so easy to be removed from it when you have security guards around you 24 fucking 7 and you don't live in real life.
And if we can't trust our voting processes to get representatives who are actually going to represent us and our best interests instead of their own pockets, then we are going to have to revolt. We are going to have to do something. And if they aren't going to communicate, and their best way of fixing things is to shut down the government, and they're still going to get paid, and then the people who are actually doing things in this country aren't going to get paid, then maybe we have to start over. Or maybe we just have to, like, I don't know, revolt.
And if you could peacefully just start over,
Then that would be fine.
that would be great.
But we can't.
But
That's not a thing that you can do.
What happens when peace isn't an option? Like, let's just be fucking for real.
You can't just be like, I would like you all to leave now. Thank you.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, make a new country so we can just have these fucking conservative idealisms. Like, it's fucking stupid.
So we can have the conservative idealisms?
So they can. Like, that's like I feel like that's what they want. That's why, like, now you're seeing ICE raids to African American people. They want to, and then it'll probably be trans people, and then it'll probably be gay people, and they'll find a way so that they can live in their little
bubble,
their little conservative bubble, their little conservative fucking, what's the word? Utopia.
Well, but they're always gonna have an evil. The Republican Party, the Conservative Party, the MAGA especially, do not know how to exist without an enemy.
Yeah.
At least, and I'm obviously we're generalizing here. At least Democrats and liberals and leftists and progressives, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself when you're on the side that isn't MAGA. Our enemy is the topic.
Yeah, and at least like, and there is a very big bad side to cancel culture and to how we don't stick together as a community. But on the same breath, at least we do hold each other accountable when they need to, when accountability is need to be held.
I think accountability is something, but you should like, I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm not saying we shouldn't cancel people ever.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's also adding to the problem of like nobody who's in the middle wants to come over to our side when we just say, "See, this is why." This is blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, maybe they were coming to you to talk to you about the fact that like, oh my God, I can't believe this thing was happening. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
This is the
within
thing I was afraid of.
reason. Within reason. But I do think like I've never really seen the small positive side to cancel culture, but that is the one like I'll give to it, right? Not cancel culture in itself, but like the origination of cancel culture, which is holding your people accountable.
Oh, yes.
I feel like at least we do hold our people accountable.
Yes. You know who we should cancel?
There's like a really long list.
Trump. We should cancel Trump. We should just block him from everything. And by block, I mean like the whole country should block him from everything. He should stop having the key to anything. There should be no planes or trains or automobiles that would ever ride him around because, I mean, honestly, he is public enemy number one. He is like terrorism level, right?
Yeah. I do
I'd
want to
say.
say we're not inciting violence. We're not about to sit here and start a revolution.
No, and we
We're
don't.
two cis-presenting queer white people who
Just
are sitting in a living room with lights around us and a camera on us.
who are discussing the protests and the ICE raids and wishing that we could do something because at this point I've talked to my therapist about the things that I can and can't do enough that she's told me to get off of the internet.
Yeah. It's really hard right now. We're in a really weird place, and I think every day it gets kind of scarier. And it does get harder because sometimes it does feel like it would be easier to play into the weird. Like, I'm just gonna mask up and get a little corporate job. Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick my head in the
It's
sand
exhausting.
and just like, yeah, like I wish that's also why I'm like, I don't want to stop being on the internet. I don't want to stop looking at it because I'm like, then I don't know what's going on. And then if I don't know what's going on, then I'm just as bad as the other side is when they're being ignorant about it. And then she reminds me, well, what can you do with the new information? And I said, absolutely nothing except for vote when the voting happens. And also this.
Yeah. So maybe it's good to like think about the impact that we do have, which is hard.
Hello, one person that's watching this.
It's
probably Ellen.
There's at least like 15, usually, every episode lately. But yeah, we are hitting an hour, so maybe
Are we
it's good to
really?
wrap up, yeah.
Let's end it on a positive note.
Yeah. We did get kind of grim.
What are
Positive
you looking
note.
forward to?
I'm looking forward to tonight and this weekend. I think it's going to be really fun. I feel like I'm finally, like, I finalized my ideas. I've let go of the fact that, like, my headpiece and stuff is messy. Like, it's supposed to be messy. Embrace
the mess.
the mess. This world is a fucking mess, bitch. Girl, let your hair be a mess too. Who gives a fuck? Let's be honest. We're all going through it.
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. Like, even when his ass is out of office, it's still not going to be perfect. There's still going to be.
I love how you say when, like he's not gonna be a fucking vampire living forever and ever.
Okay, so in my head, like, there was hesitation, but I'd rather say when because I'm not trying to put out I'm not trying to say if. Because the law says. The law says.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queer Vision podcast. Once again, I'm Becca, and I sat down today with Koee. I think you learned a lot about us. I feel like we told you a lot of nuggets in a bunch of different episodes, but now I guess you know more about us so you can see who you're working with when you work with us. If you would like to do an interview, you definitely should. Everybody has a story. We want to hear yours. Go ahead and sign up. It's queerolina.org, queerolina.org. You go to our contact page and the link to sign up is right there. You can also send in a guest article. We want poetry, we want writing, we want art, we want everything you can think of. So send us everything you can, and we'd love to put it in the magazine. We'd love to have you be a part of our team. So yeah, can't wait to hear from you, and come to some of our events. We have some pretty cool ones coming up. Okay. Have a really good day.
You should go subscribe to the magazine. It's
Yes.
$5 a month, bitch.
Period. It's $5 a month. Why did my throat just make
I
that
don't know.
noise?
I heard it right in my ears.
That was really crazy. It just was like.
Akira has joined the chat.
We've got a new member on the team. She'll be filling in for me. Oh my god. They want to eat her. Because she's that sexy and delicious. I'm not the community bottom. I'm sorry, y'all.
Do you believe
But
in
I support them.
life after now?
Wow. I'm
No.
evil. Oh, well, my phone has 20%. It's
Oh
filming.
no.
Oh no. What do you need, Diva?
Do you need to go outside? Oh, we did give him a laxative yesterday.
Are you good?
Yeah, I wanted to turn a little bit.
Yeah.
Be like,
That's true. Because
craning
honestly,
my
I feel the
neck.
same way.
I was like this. I was like, did you just fucking disassociate?
Anyway,
In the middle of a sentence. Stands the stands.
it was like judgment. I was like, why'd I do that?
I don't know.
I'm trying to unmask, okay?
Yeah, brother. That was Justin coming out. I don't.
Yeah, sure.
Gira, stop trying to eat the plant.
Ask
Look at
Bagheera
this
what they
cat.
have to say.
Yeah.
They didn't give one.
He didn't answer. Why are you looking there and not there?
Because I'm obsessed with myself. I'm sorry. I've come here to admit that I'm obsessed with myself. Or like obsessed with myself in like a good way and a bad way. Come to this fucking meeting.
But also-
yeah, because the world does revolve around me.